brand new Fat and Funny. Now, I know it's been a hot minute since we've been together, and I want to thank you for your patience while I took, I'll call it a sabbatical from YouTube. I had a lot going on, and I'm going to fill you in on that one subject at a time. This is actually the second time I've tried to film this because today's subject is going to be a little heavy, and my goal is to make videos that are under 5 minutes. And filming and talking about what I wanted to talk about didn't feel right under 5 minutes, so this one might go a little bit longer. But my goal is, for the new structure of these videos, is to give you videos that are 5 minutes or less, you know, day in the life, show you what I've been working on in terms of me. So without further ado, let's get into it. So about a year and a half ago, almost exactly, I turned 40, and you know, 40 was supposed to be this big year for me. My weight goal was supposed to be reached by the time I was 40. I had all of these, like, you know, goals in mind in regards to my fitness, to my health, and COVID kind of went and killed it. So I wasn't where I needed to be. And that added to the general stress of, you know, a new decade, the stress that goes with that. And I decided that it was probably good to, you know, open up the mental hood, do a little oil change, and I reached out for help, and I started seeing a therapist. And I'm very happy to say I've been seeing this fantastic therapist for about a year and a half. And if they ever come across this video, you're a rock star. Not that they probably ever will, but you know, the universe puts things out there. So I had a main reason, and obviously, like I said, the big part was I didn't want to have a freak out when I turned 45. So I reached out and started seeing a therapist. And the main precursor, the main reason why I wanted to talk to someone is I started to have what I've now come to realize is an unhealthy connection with my body. You know, obviously contributing with the fact that I didn't lose the weight I wanted. With COVID, I ended up gaining far more weight than I wanted. I think I probably gained like 15 pounds, and I'll talk about the pieces that added to that. However, you know, mainly it had to do with the good old boobs, the chesticles. I just started to debate whether I wanted them to be removed, and so I'm still on a waiting list for reduction. So you know, that's still happening. But granted, I've been on that list since before COVID, which is, you know, what, 3+ years. So I started seeing someone to kind of work through that, and it's been a lot of help. I've, you know, definitely accepted that they are part of me and they're going to be part of me. And but that took like a whole year, and through seeing a therapist, I worked through that. You know, I came to terms with the fact, like, as I mentioned, there's definitely a sprinkle of body dysmorphia into all of this. And it was from a lot of different things. So over the last year and a bit, I started meeting with my therapist every 2 weeks. Now it's about every 4 to 6, and we talk through, and I, you know, continue to enjoy peeling back the layers of my mental health and dealing with past traumas and realizing just how much those things impact you. And as I sorted through this, it brought up, you know, childhood issues. You know, it was generally quite traumatic. And because of that, I stopped going to the gym. The gym didn't bring me joy anymore. I compensated with alcohol, and not, obviously, no day drinking or whatnot, but it got very, very easy to just drink away my sorrows and my stresses. And that's something I've worked towards cutting out. And I think that's, you know, where my fitness is a different level. But where I am now is a lot more of a focus on balance of mental health as much as physical health. And, you know, life has not been particularly easy in the last year and a half. As most of you know, I love my pups. I think London makes his cameo more often than not. And about a year and a month almost ago, Callie, promised myself I wasn't going to do this. Callie, my 10-year-old Boston Terrier, passed away. And it had been months of her being ill. It was, for those who know doggy health issues, she had Cushing's, she had Addison's, and it was a very bad sickness in the end. The therapist says to feel the emotions, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. And for those of you who have pets, you understand just how painful it is to lose them. And she was only 10. She had a life riddled with medical issues here or there. But between all of that, she had a very happy life. And, you know, London came in to our lives simply because, plus we love him. He's a big goof and he's chunky monkey. But London came into our lives in case something happened to Cleo, who's my oldest, so that Callie wouldn't be alone. And who knew that London would be that dog to Cleo? So thankfully, Cleo is still around. She celebrated her 13th birthday. But I can say that the year was very tough. It was tough learning to live without Callie. And it was very tough to feel guilty because I had a life again. Feeding her was an exorbitant affair every day. And a huge thank you to Baker Animal Hospital, who's our vet clinic, because they were amazing up until the end. And continue to be. They're fantastic people. So if you're in Montreal, look for Fantastic Vet. In no way, shape, or form subsidized by them. They're great people. So seeing a therapist definitely helped me deal with the grief and taught me how to not suppress the emotions that seem to like sit and crush my chest. So that was a huge help. And, you know, keeping busy, working through things, meditating has been great. Deep breathing. I'm a huge fan of box breathing. So for those who don't know what box breathing is, essentially it is like the simplest thing. It's you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, you hold that for 4 seconds, and you repeat and you repeat. I find it therapeutic and helpful. So I've grown to be a huge proponent of meditation, but also taking time for yourself. So yeah, I realized my brain needed some love. So I've been working very hard to take care of my mental health. And now that that's in a much better place, my physical health is back on the table. But that's going to be for a subsequent video. So this is way longer than I wanted it to be. But I definitely want to introduce you to someone who's super important. In October of last year, you know, having only 2 dogs in the house was tough. Fostering happened, and somehow, Lexi, come here. Somehow, this monster ended up in the house. And she was never meant to be permanently here. Oh, she's not happy. Okay, I'll let you go. So she was never ever meant to be ours. She was a foster, and the people who were supposed to take her ended up ghosting the rescue. It didn't want her. So she stayed. And I can say that I'm not one to necessarily believe in reincarnation, but it's hard to not see bits of Callie in her. I've accidentally called her that far too many times, but she's very Callie-esque. She has a lot of the same mannerisms. Ironically enough, she weighs exactly the same amount as Callie, despite the fact that Callie was a very tiny Boston Terrier. She's 19 different breeds, and she keeps her big brother, London, on his toes, and Cleo she idolizes everything Cleo does. So definitely helped having a pup in the house. She's about to celebrate her first birthday this month. And so between all of that, I've learned to love myself a little bit more. I've learned to be patient with myself. And the strong likelihood that I probably have ADHD. Who knew? Everyone apparently but me. So yeah, that's, in terms of my brain, that's the last year and a half. Don't ever be afraid to reach out for help. It's one of those things that I apologize, London agrees. Don't ever be afraid to reach out for help. A professional is, you know, trained in London. A professional is there to guide you. There's no shame in therapy. There's no shame in asking for help. And if you get, like, especially if you're someone who's on a fitness journey, if your head's not right, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to lose weight, probably in the most unhealthy way possible. Then you're probably going to gain it. So I'm going to leave you on that. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I'm sure lots of people have heard that. So we're going to stop there. I don't want to give everything away in one video. As I mentioned, I'm going to try and do a different format, shorter videos a few times a month. This is the first one. It's a little bit longer because I wanted, I think mental health deserves the opportunity to be spoken about a little bit more than in 5 minutes. So the next video will likely be where things are health-wise and what I've been doing there. And then I'd like to stick to, you know, day in the life, eating, crap like that, you know, the important stuff. So that's it for me today. I'm going to remind you to drink some water, call your parents, and be nice to one another. Have a good one.